So friends, here we are for the second Financial Freedom Fraternity Conference in association with Economic Times. Looking forward to the exciting 3 days. Over 1100 registered members who have even voted. And we are going to do something which is very, very unique, which probably has not happened across any conferences in India in next 3 days. Yes, the theme, the concept, it is all about leadership. And that is what we will be understanding, learning from our learned speakers. So taking you all through our and we thank our conference partners. Before we begin, this is your host for next 3 days, Kanak. And let's see what it is all about in next 3 days. Yes, friends, this is an initiative, a joint initiative with all the volatility coaches and all the Financial Freedom Fraternity members. We look forward to learn and together do this event and learn with each other so that we emerge as a little more better leader than what we are today. Each and everyone is a leader in whatever way at their organization level, at their personal family level. So the whole idea is how we all can enhance and excel in whatever we are doing. And that's the reason we all have this 7 pillars, which is what we will be sharing in next 3 days. It's a power-packed session at the ease of your home. So just enjoy, relax, and be there. Be a little active on chat. Be active when we have a breakout rooms, and try to network with each other. Try to network with people across the country, because we will have mutual fund distributors from over 200 cities. So this is a big opportunity that we should network during the breakout sessions. So friends, we also thank our knowledge partners, Chanakya Anvikshiki. The whole concept is actually coming from 2000-year-old wisdom of Chanakya, NSC Academy, FPSB Board, Swami Vivekananda Group of Universities, and Swami Vivekananda University. So friends, the whole, all 3 days, we will experience the learning at each level of all the 7 pillars. As a Swami in your own organization, if you are a founder and if you have created something, you are a Swami. And for that, we will understand the perspectives from Mr. Sandeep Marwa and Mr. Venkatesh Iyer. This will actually help us so that as a founder, as a managing director, as the person who is running the organization, how we can actually look into that. Then we have Janapada, which is all about marketing, which is all about the people, which is all about your market, your clients, your customers, and your branding. So we have an amazing speaker, Mr. Himadri Sinha, who is going to talk about this. And then we have Danda, the former DGP of Maharashtra State, who is going to take us through how to manage the team. He is the person who managed, he's going to speak today only, he is the person who managed the Mumbai terror attack. He actually is the person who had done encounters of, I don't know, hundreds or so many people. So we will just understand how as a team he has actually taken it forward. And then the Amatya, the second in line as an organization, how you go, how you build it up and how you take it forward. Durga. Durga earlier used to be your building, your infrastructure, but today it is all about, rather it is mostly about the technology, the websites, the softwares, and so many digital interface which we use. So yes, we will understand from the old perspective to the new perspective. There are quite a number of speakers going to talk on Durga. And then Mitra, Mr. Danish Hussain, a well-known film actor, award winner, recently the Netflix Taj Mahal series, and so many movies he has worked with, Shah Rukh, Nasiruddin Shah, and so many people. And then Mitra, Dr. Radhakrishna Pillai. He is a speaker who was there last year also and this year also. So we really need to understand the whole concept of Saptanga, and who other than Dr. Pillai can explain that. And from our industry, we have none other than who will be just beginning the session today with all of us, Mr. Nilesh Shah, then Motilal ji, and then Naren, then Bala sir, Ajit, Raghav, Abhilash ji, and Bhavin. All of them will be sharing, and many, many, many more will be talking about Kosha and overall leadership with all of us. So friends, this is how all 3 days are planned for each one of us. And evenings are a little more interesting. This is the first time that a lot of things which we are using, like the backend softwares, the mutual fund transaction platform, and the websites we are using. But this is the first time probably we all have voted for that, and we have a winner. So we will experience that. We will meet them all today in the evening, and really look forward to each and every one of you participating. And in between, we will also have some screens coming in. You can just write and everything will come up on the screen. We will be experiencing 1 or 2 new things during this conference, and I'm sure with your participation, the whole process of learning will grow phenomenally. So we will be unmuting people while we have breakout sessions and all. Otherwise, we will have it in a normal mute mode, but all of you can chat, raise your hand, ask questions whenever the speaker is completed. And it is going to be like a very, very swift flow for each one of us, as if we all are there in a conference hall and we will be watching. It's now almost 1.5 years that we are experiencing this virtual arena, and I'm sure this is going to take us to newer heights. Although it is becoming a little fatigue for all of us, but still people who are learners, people who are really, really willing to learn, have actually registered, and they are already there sitting with their cameras on. Maybe some of you have also put on your virtual background. So be interactive so that the speakers can actually take out their heart and speak. And that's what the essence of the whole program is. So friends, looking forward, and let's now welcome our chief guest, MD and CEO, Kotak AMCs, and Chairman AMFI, one of the most respected person in our industry, and a person whom I think all of us admire, not only myself, the way he speaks, the softness which he has, and the content which he shares. Friends, I have an experience that there are such videos which actually at some of our forums has been delivered by Nilesh sir, and they have touched 5 lakhs views, 7 lakh views, like that. So he is a person who, if actually is getting things started, I think there is no looking back. The whole conference, the whole concept will really, really be good for all of us. So looking forward to welcome you, Nilesh sir. Thank you so much for your time, for your presence, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kanak bhai. Very good morning to everyone. Thank you, Financial Freedom Fraternity, for inviting me over here. Today, the topic is about leadership. And as Kanak bhai mentioned, in our culture, Swami Janpad, done Amatya, Durg, Mitra, Kosha are the pillars of leadership. If we go to Western world, Don Frick and James Sype created what is known as 7 pillars of leadership: character, courage, confidence, communication, culture, competence, and coaching. Now, these are all words. How do we go and implement it? Life is never black and white. As a mutual fund distributor, as investment advisor, we have to many a times walk a very thin line. Life is full of gray, and this is where our leadership will count. Now, when I was joining Kotak Mutual Fund, I went to my boss, Mr. Uday Kotak, and asked him what kind of leadership he wants from me. And what he narrated to me, I'm narrating to you. It helped me immensely in managing Kotak Mutual Fund over the last 6 years. And I'm sure all of you are very, very familiar with these stories. And it will help you implement in practical life, in real life. There is 4x4 quotient. The first quotient is called Ram quotient. All of you are familiar with Ramayana. Bhagwan Ram always had very noble objective, and also the mean to achieve that objective was pious and noble. He always trusted Sita Mata, yet insisted on Agni Pariksha. He always trusted Sita Mata, yet at the command of a dhobi, had to send Sita Mata to a jungle. The whole life of Ram is about greater goals, and the means to achieve them was even pious and noble. From that quotient comes Krishna quotient. As you all know, Krishna had multifaceted life. In the war of Mahabharata, it was important to kill Karna. And hence, Krishna doesn't tell Arjun that he is your elder brother. If he had mentioned that, Arjun would not have shot the arrow. And after killing Karna, Krishna shares the knowledge with all the Pandavas, but only after the war is over. When Bhim and Duryodhan were fighting, Krishna had no harm in indicating Bhim that he need to hit Duryodhan on the jangha below the belt. It was against the law of the wars, but that was the only way Duryodhan could have been killed. So Krishna teaches us that your goal should be noble, but sometimes to achieve those noble goals, you have to take shortcut. The third question comes of Duryodhan. Duryodhan's goals were always compromised, but his means to achieve those goals were always noble. When he was fighting for his life, he never hit Bhim below the belt. He always followed the rules of Gada Yudh to kill or to win over Bhimsen. It didn't matter whether it costed his life. But the whole war which he was fighting was on the wrong premises. So Duryodhan's life is all about bad goals, but achievement by following the right process. And then finally comes Ravan quotient. Ravan was one of the most knowledgeable person. He was ardent bhakt of Shiv. And yet his objectives, as well as his means to achieve those objectives, were never noble. He had no business intervening in kidnapping of Sita Mata. Taking the vesh of sadhu, under the disguise of sadhu, kidnapping Sita Mata was also wrong. And finally, he paid the price. His golden Lanka was destroyed. So Ravan shows us that the means and the goals both could be inferior. Now, these characters of Bhagwan Sri Ram, Bhagwan Sri Krishna, Duryodhan, and Ravan gives us all the qualities about leadership that we need. Most of the time, please follow a process where goals are noble, where means to achieve those goals is also noble. For example, most of mutual fund distributors across India believes in client first policy. They believe in enriching client at all point of time. If you look at mutual funds versus many other financial products, the extent of mis-selling is very, very low. I will call it minuscule. And most importantly, reward to the investors is one of the highest. I have rarely come across a scenario where a mutual fund investor says that I was sold mutual fund by a distributor, but today he's not available for servicing. When I look at other financial products from chit funds to insurance, to health insurance, to general insurance, for selling policies, for selling at the time, there are many people available. But when servicing comes, it's not there. So keep client first and ensure that we are able to achieve client first through the right means. The second quotient, because it is Kali Yuga, is Krishna quotient. There will be certain occasions where you may have to take some shortcuts in order to achieve greater good. Remember, client first always remains, but sometimes you have to tell little bit of shortcut. You have to take little bit of shortcuts to achieve that greater good. For example, there is a person who was worried in March 20, market गिर गई, bank बच गई है, अब क्या करे? At that point of time, to convince him, if you say that, look, just stay invested in 6 months, you will see the result. Well, you yourself don't know what will happen in 6 months. But making that statement at that point of time is not wrong, because you are trying to give conviction to a person who is worried with the market volatility. By God's grace, that would have been proven right. So try to be always in the Ram quotient and Krishna quotient. Keep client first. Sell them the right product. Explain them the ingredients, characteristics, features of the product. Explain them the risk and the reward. And ensure that they remain invested for the longer term so that they can become richer. Never follow the Duryodhan and the Ravan quotient. You should never ever think of earning commission in order to sell a product. Don't sell product because it's giving you higher commission. Eventually, law of karma will work and it will come to bite you. Don't follow the process of selling a wrong product to a customer, even if it's not rewarding to you. If you ensure that in your business, you are not in Duryodhan and Ravan quotient, and you are most of the time in Ram quotient and occasionally in Krishna quotient, I'm sure business will do extremely well. Let me end my talk by sharing one incident. There is a distributor, many of you will know him. He started on Janmashtami day, and they have an office in New Bombay. Their company name is also starting with Krishna. And New Bombay was a evolving part of Mumbai when they had moved over there 27 years ago. It wasn't as vibrant city like it is today. 27 years ago, people didn't know about investments, forget mutual funds. And in that time period, he started his company with a simple objective: client first, give right advice to the client, sell right product to the client. And today, it's a thriving business. People have continued with him for 25, 27 years. The father brings the son or daughter with their first salary and say that, why don't you invest on his behalf, her behalf? The relationship is now connected across generations. His own next generation is in the business. And the whole place, when we visit there, gives a vibrancy, gives a feeling that here people are coming because of relationship, not because of, commercial purpose. This is probably the ultimate a mutual fund distributor can achieve, where clients are coming to them because of relationship and not because of commercial reasons. This is all possible because you kept client first. This is all possible because you followed right process to sell right product to the customers with the view to make money for them, with a view to make them richer. There's nothing better than this. हमारे वहां पे कहते हैं कि दुआओं का बहुत बड़ा असर होता है. जब कोई आदमी बीमार हो जाता है, डॉक्टर भी जवाब दे देता है, तो दे ऑलवेज से कि दुआ करो शायद ठीक हो जाए. म्यूचुअल फंड इज अ बिजनेस जहां पे पैसा और दुआएं दोनों मिलती है. अगर आपने लोगों के लिए पैसे बनाए, ट्रस्ट में वो लोग भी आपको दुआएं देंगे. आपको म्यूचुअल फंड कमीशन देगा और क्लाइंट दुआएं देगा. What can be better than this? So please follow the quotient of Ram and Krishna. Avoid the quotient of Duryodhan and Ravan, and ensure that आप पैसों के साथ साथ दुआएं भी बटोर रहे हो. That will come a long way in your journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nilesh sir. And it is an honor, it's a pleasure with your words, with the wisdom which you keep on sharing with all of us. They are really, really helpful, and they are really, I'm sure that they helps each one of us. So friends, any question? I think we have another 5 minutes. He's there with us, 5 to 7 minutes. So if anything, specifically, if anyone wishes to ask, we all can just write it in the chat box, and I'm sure Nilesh sir is there. And Nilesh sir, if you can just answer, I think, is it becoming more and more important as far as leadership is concerned in this virtual world, where clients are meeting virtually, we are meeting your team also virtually, and we are actually increasing the efficiency level to a great extent. So how do you think leadership qualities will be different than what it was before 2020?
So there are two ways of looking at this, Kanak bhai. The more things change, more they remain the same. Ultimately, there is no substitute to human touch. Ultimately, there is no substitute to the warmth which a person brings. Digital is a technology enabler, but it's not going to substitute human touch and human warmth. We are all social animals, and we will require human touch whenever it is possible. So my recommendation is that the world is not going to go from physical to digital totally. It will go into hybrid mode, where there will be a set of customers whom you will connect digitally, and there will be a set of customers whom you will connect physically. I will dare say that you need to apply 20-80 rules. In most businesses, 20% of customers gives you 80% of revenue and profit. And 80% of customers gives you 20% of revenue stroke profit. Now, when we look at our time allocation, most of us end up spending 80% of time on that 20%, that 80% customer, which gives me 20% of revenue. And we spend only 20% of time on that 20% customer who is giving me 80% of revenue. So my recommendation is that please make segregation. The 80% of customers who gives you 20% of revenue, touch them digitally. Use technology to touch them, service them, contact them. And that 20% of customers who gives you 80% of revenue, give them physical plus digital touch. Let the servicing be through technology, but let there be a human warmth, human touch, human contact, which will ensure that they develop relationship rather than commercial transaction with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I will now request one of our senior volatility coach also to just say thank you to you. Nilesh sir. Jairaj Kadamji. Jairaj, if you can just say thank you to sir.
Thank you, Nilesh bhai.
Thank you.
And it's always pleasure to hear you. And we will follow your advice of Ram Kosha and Krishna Kosha. And I always keep remembering your ghost stories, and I always keep it has become a wildfire for every one of us. Thank you very much, Nilesh ji.
Thank you.